All right, what's up, everybody? Sorry for the delay there. Yeah, you gotta like sync up with Instagram Live. It's like you gotta keep pushing the button. Matt for points has jumped into our Instagram Lives. Matt, say hi in the comments, please. All right, we got a great crew. Welcome everybody, though. First to Crossing the Streams, where we answer the universal question. Hey, I just binged something and I got to watch something else. What should I watch now? Well, you've come to the right place. We have 147 hours of binging suggestions on our YouTube channel. This is episode 148. Adding to that mix, that's a ton of great stuff just waiting for you. We've got returning friend, Heather Zeitzwolfe. Hello.
Hello. Welcome back. Yeah, thank you.
And we have first-time guest John from Surge Media. John Svedese.
Yeah. Don't even try to pronounce my last name. Yeah, that's fine. John from Surge Media.
I feel like I nailed it.
You did. You did a lot better than my second grade teacher. It's great. It's okay.
And of course, Marcy's back here as well. John, and then Heather, you can go after that. Tell everyone about your podcast.
Me?
You get 1 minute. Tell the world all about you.
Great. Well, I run a YouTube channel and a podcast. The YouTube channel is called The Basement Surge, where, I basically talk to influencers. I talk to business people and try to inspire people to follow their dreams. And it's a lot of fun. And I get the chance to talk to so many inspirational people. But then I run a podcast called Surgecast, where I basically talk about whatever I want. I talk about video games, I talk about movies, I talk about Brooklyn, New York, I talk about just anything I want, being a dad, and it's a lot of fun, and I think that's what really podcasting is about, just having fun. And so you guys can find everything I do over on surgemediany.com.
Amazing. We have the Basement Ladies, Dancing Mom, 99, all there. Matt for points. What's up, everybody? On Instagram, we got Jerry joining us. Very colorful panel. Yes, yes it is. And Lee chimed in earlier. I'm sure she'll be around soon. Heather, tell everyone. I know you're coming off tax season.
Oh yeah, well, I've got a new podcast that's coming out. It hasn't been released yet, but it's going to be called Savvy Frugal Vegan, and I've got all the stuff in the can, and I'm looking for people to be on my show. So hit me up if you are vegan friendly, or vegan curious, because it's going to be about travel, cooking, and entrepreneurship with a vegan flair.
Okay. I eat meat, so
that's so you're not invited.
I'm out.
Yeah, me too. Sorry.
I'm more of a vegan side dish.
Yeah.
Hey, but I'm here to, like John was saying, to inspire. So I'm not going to be the angry vegan. This is all about like, hey, this is delicious, and it happens to be plant-based. So,
yeah, I know. I get it. Is it a video podcast so we can see if you're saying it with a straight face? This tastes just like meat.
That's not the point. But yes, I've been doing stuff in my kitchen, which is really great. It's been really fun, doing those videos.
Usually vegans cook in the garden. Let me ask you a question, because it always is. I've always wondered is,
where do I get my protein?
No.
Okay, thank you.
That wasn't even in the top 10.
Okay.
What I was going to ask you is, what is the obsession with vegans, or the market that markets to vegans, that everything has to be like it was meat? Like, here's a tofu hot dog. Oh, I can now enjoy pork, the love of my pork.
You know what? I would say,
but it's all soy,
Yeah. Okay. Well, dude, I think that's like for the people that are transferring over to the, they're coming from the dark side and they're going into the the compassionate world, and they don't know how to eat like a vegan, so they just eat the same kind of crap that they were eating before. So, that's the processed food. So, I mean, over time, you just kind of get rid of that kind of stuff. But I mean, I make food that's delicious. It doesn't have to be like, when they put it in the shape of an animal, that's really weird to me. I don't know why they do that. They mold it.
That's
Sometimes you'll see it.
hilarious.
Right. We don't
even know
even
they
do that. We don't need
No.
us meat eaters don't even do that.
No.
Oh yeah. So okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm tired of, and I wish if maybe this could be a vegan movement. Is I'm really done. It was fine for a little bit, but the Brussels sprouts with the when you go into like the fried Brussels sprouts it's just enough already.
Yeah.
I
It's
love
like-
Brussels
I
sprouts.
love Brussels
I love
sprouts.
them too. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, come on. Well, you got at some point you're like, okay, we get it. You tricked me.
You
into
mean
eating
like you're
Brussels
talking the
sprouts.
shaved Brussels sprouts with the bacon and the balsamic on every
it's
menu?
like, I mean, it's really not. I mean, you're eating balsamic. I mean, it's like when you realize, like, do I like sushi or do I just like soy sauce? And it's
I stopped at a store yesterday to pick up the best roasted Brussels sprouts in balsamic just because I was thinking of them all day.
to
So
me,
some of us
it's
are
just like
still
it's
into
just one
that.
of those things that was a great idea. We all loved it. Someone's got to come up with another idea.
It's like pesto in the 90s. I think pesto was like on everything in the 90s. So I think it's the same thing with Brussels sprouts.
All right.
It's having its
Okay.
time.
All right. One other thing I want to talk about is, were you guys watching the Billy Joel 100 concert?
Okay, I walked through the room and I saw Sting singing with Billy Joel, and my like 8th grade self was like disgusted because why would Sting from the Police be singing with Billy Joel? I did not
Oh my-
understand.
I'm
Well,
going
one,
to
they
see
were
them in
one,
November
they're
in
great
Vegas.
friends. They're great friends,
Yeah.
and they are and they're touring together. So I think that was kind of like a teaser.
Who is
But-
it that you don't like? Like, who is it that you don't like them together, or you don't like one of them?
Well, I mean, okay, nothing against Billy Joel, but he's kind of like he's sort of vanilla.
Yeah, he's never gonna make it. I'm just
But
kidding.
no. What I mean is he's like every he's like everybody likes him, like your mom, like everybody. Like
Billy Joel's
Sting.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. Jesus Christ, you guys probably like Journey too. Okay,
Come on,
but
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. You can't like knock Billy Joel around me. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go see them in Vegas in November, play
all
together.
right, okay.
Sting and Billy
I'm
Joel.
not saying
I
anything
mean,
bad about him. I'm just saying, like the Police used to be to me, they used to be more edgy, and now it's like it just shows that they got older. I don't know.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
old. You know.
Well,
love
yeah, I thought Sting singing "Big Man on Mulberry Street" was perfect. I thought it was a great song for him. But anyway, but the point is they do this. It's a 2-hour version of, and we pulled up the set list, and they weren't really going in order, and they skipped like there was probably 15 songs they didn't even include, and it was still great though. It was great. He sounded great. I mean, I'm sure they souped it up a little bit, but like everything sounded great. Crystal, his backup singer, came out and sang, blew the roof off. And then you've invested 1 hour and 59 minutes into Billy Joel.
I know.
And they're
exactly.
ending with Piano Man. They end it with Piano Man on the show, which if you're a real Billy Joel fan, Billy Joel's Piano Man's the end of the concert and then the encore. So it's not really the end of the concert, but they went out of order. It's okay. For TV, it makes sense. So they're Billy, and it's just about to get to the part where the whole friggin' audience is going to sing, which is, if you go a Billy Joel fan, you see him live. When we all sing Piano Man, he just stops. It's the greatest moment ever. And it's like, it's building up. It's building up. You're loving this. It's such a great concert. 1 hour, 59 minutes, and CBS decides to cut to local news. It was the most jarring thing I've ever experienced. And like, I'm like, is this just us? And it was the whole, at least the whole Midwest and everybody. I mean, it was just like, it couldn't have been at the worst time. And there couldn't have been more than 60 seconds left of the concert. And now they have to re-air the whole thing, which I just want to see the end. And It's like, which by the way, I've never seen the end of what's that water movie that James Cameron did? Not Titanic.
Oh,
other
The
one.
Abyss.
The Abyss. I never seen the end of The Abyss because it's like a 12-hour movie. And when I was at the probably Old Orchard Theater, the the power went out at the end, and I never saw it. And this
I thought you were going to say you always fall asleep at the end, because that always happens to
No.
me with certain movies. Okay.
Yeah, it was so jarring. I got on Twitter. It finally got a decent tweet out. Like I usually, it's so hard now. I'm like, CBS, I can't believe what you just did. And then I added, now I'll never know how Piano Man ends. But it was so jarring. And then the CBS had to put out a thing, and then they're re-airing the whole thing.
Yeah,
Right.
I had heard the next day that on the radio that they cut off like the last 5 or 10 minutes or something like that from the Billy Joel concert, and so many people were mad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think it wasn't even 5 minutes. It was literally
Not the guys that always leave early to get to their cars,
Right.
and they're like, "We gotta go, honey. Let's get to the car. We don't need the encore." That guy was like, "I'm going to bed."
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it. Yeah, it was no more than 2 minutes.
Like nobody ever heard Piano Man before.
No, but it was just you were so invested. And CBS actually they did a really great job making this concert and giving you the experience. And it was just like you were so invested, and that's like the big ending, and then it's just like boom. It was almost like honestly, I think, and my wife, it was like you thought we went to war. Like that was the kind of thing like where they just cut in, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it must be something.
There's got to be a lot of Heidi jokes out there that if you don't understand, you can Google it. But that happened during a very important football game many years ago when they cut to Shirley Temple's movie Heidi, and the game turned around and everyone missed it because they were watching Shirley Temple. That's a very famous mistake on live television.
Well, I would have done the same thing with I would have done the same thing for Shirley Temple, and I think it was a police fan that was working that television station.
Like,
No, they love each other. They love each other.
This is a broadcast of the emergency broadcasting system.
So funny. All right. Well, we got a show. Let's see what we got here. We have a few people that have joined us. Lee is in the house. What's up?
Hi, Lee.
Aaron is in the house. What's up?
What's up, Aaron?
Aaron, I might have a lead for you if you want to be on a Bruce Springsteen podcast, or one that someone who loves Bruce Springsteen. DM me on Facebook. Jerry's here. What's up, Jerry? Did we already say hi to Jerry? I feel like we did.
What's up, Jerry?
Oh, you know who else is here? Very special guest, Audrey Kahn.
Hi, Audrey.
It's Marcy's mom. Marcy's family always shows up. They always show up.
I won't show up to their house, so they come to my podcast.
Oh my God. All right, let's get to some shows. Let's talk to. So last week we talked about the original Fall Guy. I talked about Steve Martin documentary.
Oh,
we talked about Seven
Nice.
Samurai, and we talked about Monkey Man. So that's available on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, you can comment YouTube, and you'll get a link to the YouTube channel. And today we are talking about 24, the new Netflix movie Scoop, Anyone But You, and Hot Rods to Hell, which I can't wait to hear that one. But we're going to start with what are we going to start with? We're going to start with Anyone But You, the Sydney Sweeney classic.
Okay, so this is just your regular old rom-com. It's decent. It's somewhat funny. There's some slapstick physical humor and a lot of really good-looking people, which is always great for a romantic comedy. These are not ugly people in this movie. I'm a huge fan of Sydney Sweeney. I love Euphoria. I think is outstanding. I always no one has talked about Euphoria on this show yet. I got to talk about it. It's
next time.
It's one of my absolute favorites on Max. So I spoke about a movie on on Max called Reality. Sydney Sweeney stars as Reality Winner. It's based on a true story of a whistleblower who works for the government. and she just got a raw deal. But what I found was Sydney Sweeney is a phenomenal actress. And when she played Reality Winner, she blew me away. And I'm like, you can do anything. I am a huge fan. So I really wanted to see this. I enjoyed it. I only paused it like maybe and looked at my phone like 9 times. It's an hour and 44 minutes. It probably took me 2 hours and 15 minutes to watch it. And I do recommend it. So the cast is a ton of fun. First of all, Glenn Powell is the love interest. He was in the new Top Gun. So, he's strikingly handsome. And he and Sydney Sweeney do have pretty good chemistry on camera. It was just a delight to see the two of them in their shenanigans. I don't want to give anything away, but there's a little.
It's a rom-com. Is it really anything?
It starts out where they're like really gonna do it, like they're really gonna fall in love, and then there's miscommunication, and they hate each other, and then they're brought back together by accidents, and it all while someone's trying to get married. So there you go. You know me, I do not like ruining. I'm not a spoiler. Okay, so Darren Barrett is in it, and he's in Anything But You. This guy's got his big career now. This is a young heartthrob. I don't even know his age, but I'm going to guess he's in his early 20s. Do you remember him, Jeff, from at Never Have I Ever? The love interest in Never Have I Ever. Do you know who that is?
Oh, yeah.
The cute boy in that. Yeah, he's the jock. Exactly. Dermot Mulroney is in this, and he plays Sydney Sweeney's. Her character's name is Beatrice. He plays her dad, and then his wife, her mother, is Rachel Griffiths from 6 Feet Under. And no, I didn't watch the next show she was on. I didn't see it. I don't remember what it was, but she was in 6 Feet Under, which is I'm a huge fan of. She was literally one of my favorite characters. And I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, who are you? Who are you? I know you from somewhere. And I finally had to Google. Find out who she was, because she's just aged so gracefully. She looks great, but
she's the one that the brother hooks up with in the
correct. Yes. She's I just absolutely loved her. And then Brian Brown, he's in it, and he's hilarious in it. I mean, he's a ton of fun.
Brothers and Sisters.
Right. She was in Brothers and Sisters. Correct. And I never watched that. Although I know it was very popular. Michelle Hurd is in it too. So it's fun. I did pay $5.99 to watch it on Amazon Prime. And I've gone to do that about 6 times. And I've gone, what are you, crazy? Why would you spend $5.99 on this when you have all these other options? But today I had nothing to talk about. So I'm like, I got to watch something.
All right. Send me the expense check.
Oh.
You can write it off. You can write it off.
Yeah, I'll write it off too.
Ask
Heather.
Heather's doing all our taxes for free. It's part of our.
Oh, awesome. Well, I did enjoy it. I do recommend it. It was a lot of fun for a rom-com. So if you're in the mood for something not serious and just a fun little love story, and you really want to, look at really, really good looking people, I recommend Anyone But You.
All right. That was fabulous. Let me turn that off. All right. Up next, get ready, John. I'm going to introduce you. So up next, we're going to talk about 24, the Kiefer Sutherland classic show that John is going to walk us through. All episodes, all seasons in 24 hours. I'll do it in 24 hours. So it's going to be all in one day.
No pressure.
Just like the show itself, it's going to mimic the show. All right.
So yeah, Kiefer Sutherland stars in this show, and I have been, I think, like associated or like attached to this show because of my dad. My dad started watching this show, and I had bought him the DVDs when season 1 came out on DVD, and I didn't get a chance to talk to my dad for a little bit or see him to give him the DVDs. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch these, and I got hooked. And 24 is basically about Jack Bauer, who goes around trying to save the day. And the whole season is in one day. Like every episode is 1 hour of the day. And it's 24 episodes, 24 hours. And you know, it goes from his daughter getting kidnapped to his wife dying to nuclear bombs going off and presidents getting assassinated, and it's a drama. It that was on Fox TV back in the day from 2001 to I think 2014, and so it was on TV for a long time. I want to say like 13 years, you know, and yeah, it I think it was one of the TV shows that was pivotal for the time and really trailblazing the way because they used the different camera angles. Like I know, like TV shows nowadays are filmed by like 2 or 3 different cameras at once, right? So 24 was filmed with 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 different cameras all at once, and they would literally show you all the different camera angles and different scenes up on the screen all at once. So for instance, if Jack was on a phone call in Washington, and talking to the president who was on Air Force One, you would see both characters on the screen at once, and it was like they were literally having a conversation. So it was kind of ahead of its time, I think, because it was the only show that was doing it, that was doing the multi-angle camera kind of thing at the time, and I love that, and but the series, like, it ended on a cliffhanger, and I wanted to come back so bad. I want Kiefer Sutherland to do more episodes and another season, and yeah, but that's my synopsis.
How many seasons are there?
9.
9 seasons. Wow. And they just ended the show, like purposely ended it like that, or it just didn't get renewed and they thought it was going to get renewed?
Well, Jack, they felt that the character Jack Bauer had lived out his length, and they kind of retired him. So at the end, he kind of walked off into the sunset, and that was it. It was like every season of 24 was called, like, season 1 was called Day 1, season 2 was Day 2, Day 3, Day 4. Up until I think Day 7, where they did like a 2-hour special movie on television where it wasn't a whole season, and that was called Redemption in 2008. And then in 2014, the last season where they finished it was called Live Another Day, and it wasn't even like called Day 9. It was just Live Another Day, and Jack just walked off into the sunset, and that was it. I was like, okay, well, maybe there's more 24 after this. And
so in episode, it starts around, and like the first season's like around, starts at midnight, right? So
right.
Did the show, I read that the show almost got canceled because episodes 22 and 23 is just him sleeping.
Oh, jeez.
No, it's not.
Jeez. When did you write that one?
I don't know. They can't even be original. But it's got a great cast. My goodness. I worked with Mary Lynn Raskub. I opened for her a weekend at Comedy Castle.
Right.
Did you really? I found her character in 24 like totally annoying. Like I thought the show could have done without her.
I didn't see the show. I didn't see the show. I know her. I know she's funny, you know what I mean? But and she's from Michigan. She's from Michigan as well. And but it's got great cast. So Dennis Haysbert is the president, right?
Yes, President Palmer. I think, you know what? If President Palmer, Dennis Haysbert, was the real president, like, I would have no problem voting for him every single time. Okay, I think in the history of movies and TV shows, like President Palmer is the best president ever.
And he was president was he president the whole time?
No, he had gotten assassinated. He was shot. You know,
I'm saying, but was he president at the beginning? So did he predate Barack Obama? Is this the first black?
Oh yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the show started in 2001, and they were just going through the presidential primaries back in the show.
But I think I know who his designated survivor was. Wasn't it Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah, that's that's supposed to be a good show too. Alicia Cuthbert is also she's really great, and she was in Happy Endings, which is a great sitcom as well.
Yeah.
Cool. So where can you dive into 24? Where is it streaming? Oh, it's on Hulu. It's Hulu. It looks like it's on Hulu.
Yeah, probably Hulu. I think I had just recently watched. Yeah, Hulu. It's streaming now on Hulu. So I not too long ago I had watched the whole series from beginning to end, just binging it, and it was amazing. Like it just brought me back to just hanging out with my dad, watching the show, and it had a lot of sentimental value.
That's awesome.
You should check out Rabbit Hole if you haven't seen it too. I've talked about that.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, okay, good. Me too.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I love Kiefer Sutherland, like everything he does.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Nice. Awesome. Nice job, John.
That's great.
All right. Thanks, John. All right. Now we got one. Combination of Heather and this upcoming one. Hot Rods to Hell, the classic movie.
It's very classic, yes.
And brought to you by the only person who could bring it to us.
Well, obviously, I don't have the same taste as other people, so take this as you will. But one, I've never seen 24 before, but I've seen Lost Boys a bazillion times, so I'll have to try that. It sounds interesting. You made it sound interesting. I had seen Nick of Time, and I was like, I don't like this. So, but it doesn't sound the same. All right. Anyways, Hot Rods to Hell. Oh my God, this is like one of the best movies ever made. If you like things that are overacted and drag racing, so I love these like exploitation movies that have like drag cars, and I don't know if you guys have gotten into any of these like drag race. Anyways, the cars in this movie aren't really drag cars; they're more like just like Corvettes, but I don't really consider those drag. Anyways, so it's about a family where the dad is in a car accident, and of course this is back in the late 60s, mid 60s, when they had no seatbelts, and so the dad is like flown out of the car, and he's totally traumatized by this car accident. And of course, he's acting all feeble, and a man back then was not supposed to have post-traumatic stress. And so his wife decides, they need to go run a motel. And so they go out. It looks like it's like Joshua Tree or something when they're driving around out there. But while they're driving there, the dad is they get tormented by these drag racers that keep going around them, and the dad is reliving things, and there's a lot of like overly dramatic acting in it with like and then the steering wheel doesn't have the little lines on it. It's just a circular thing, and they're going like this, and the kids are and the kids are like, Dad, and anyways, it's hilarious because it's so bad. And the tough, they call them the punks, they're always like, you squares, they're calling the older people squares. But the funny thing is the punks in the movie are all dressed like preppies. Like they're all preppies. It's just so weird. And then at one point, so it turns out that this motel that they're going to purchase, they sight unseen, the family's going out to claim this motel, and it turns out that is where all the drag racers and swingers hang out, and in the quote unquote coffee shop where they're selling, who knows, they kind of allude to a bunch of different things. But anyways, there's a groovy band, and then you see like the 60s dancers with the 60s outfits, and they look cool, but there's like supposed to be living in the middle of nowhere, so I have no idea why this club is so packed with people. But and then the daughter of the crazed dad, she kind of goes off with one of the hot rod guys, and in the end though, the dad outsmarts the hot rod guys, and they end up in a ditch. They fly out of their car, of course, because there's no seatbelts. And then the dad stands over them victoriously and finally decides, I'm a man. I'm going to go back and take over this motel after all. And so it's very, very funny. And it's just one of those movies I've seen since probably the early 80s that's been on AMC. And, I mean, America's movie classic. So hey, there you go. It's a classic. But I did find it on Tubi. So and I have it on DVD. But so I watched it last night again because it's so good.
Even if you're like, I don't want to commit to watching this whole movie, it's worth it just to Google it and watch the trailer.
The trailer's awesome. Yes,
it's alpha male, misogynistic, 1966, glorious.
I would totally watch this whole movie. Yeah,
it sounded like Warriors.
Yeah, well, okay, so yeah, Warriors is like those guys were actually like, come out and play.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys were like tough. These guys are like not tough at all, but they, they're playing like they're tough, and it's just hilarious because they don't look tough and they don't have knives or anything like that, So it's just really funny. But it's really like back in the 60s when all the parents were so afraid of the kids being rebellious. It's kind of that cautionary tale of like, don't let your kids drag race. I don't know.
sounds legit.
But definitely, watch the trailer. You'll get a nice flavor of it. I think there's got some of that overacting in the trailer, and I think you'll love it.
The trailer's got everything.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is worth it.
Yeah, and it's got like the girl.
There's like, can I? What if I talk about this? And I watch the trailer. I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah.
But you can't do it justice. I mean, you have to see the overacting, and like the dad is like heavy makeup on this guy. I don't understand. Every scene is like heavy makeup, but
is anyone in it that we know? No one's in it that we know.
A lot of the actors that are in it have been in like lots of older movies, but you would never think that they are actually like well-trained actors because the acting is so melodramatic in this movie. And then the director, he directed a whole bunch of Twilight Zones and some other TV shows. So I don't know why they went for like the over-the-top acting in this movie. I mean, it's kind of like Valley of the Dolls, but like times 10. Like,
yeah,
that overacting. That's what makes it so fun.
Right. The tagline is hotter than the Hells Angels.
I'm looking at the picture, like the poster.
Yeah, and the blonde girl, she like rides in it's more like, it's not a dune buggy, but like she rides on the standing, and she's like, go faster. It's just so funny.
Okay.
I'm taking a look at it.
Yeah, it's too funny.
I'm gonna put on a buzz and I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, Tubi. I couldn't believe it was on there for free. So
Tubi. There's a lot of those. Pluto, a lot of good ones. All right. Well, we have one more to talk about. Hang on. All right. Here we go. This one's called Scoop. This is about some 3 badass women that take down an old white guy. All right.
Ooh.
Yeah. So hang on. And the 3 badass women are reporters and interview bookers from the BBC show Newsnight. And the old white man is Prince Andrew, who happens to be married or happens to be brothers to the current king. And his mom was Queen Elizabeth. So this movie is it's on Netflix. It's brand new. It is directed by Philip Martin. So if you're a fan of The Crown, I guess this could also be considered a not spin-off of The Crown, but it would be, I guess in that genre of Crown type stuff. I don't know. So it's called Scoop, right? And now I normally wouldn't watch this because honestly, I'm not really that into any of the monarchy or anything like that. It doesn't really interest me because it just doesn't. I like Meghan Markle. I think they were horrible to her. And I would love to find out what's going on with Kate Middleton, but I hope she's well. Anyway, but anyway, so this is the story of the takedown of Prince Andrew. So it focuses on it's a true story or based on a true story. And from what I can gather, in any true story, there's a little drama that they throw in. Like maybe she was trying to get the interview for 13 months and it's only 2 months in the movie because it's only an hour and 47 minutes. It's a pretty tight show. I enjoyed it. My wife was watching it because she loves The Crown and all that stuff. And so I just happened to sit down. Stars Gillian Anderson, and she's amazing in it. She was in The Crown too. She played who's I can't remember the prime minister, the female prime minister of the. Help me out. Nobody knows anything about history. Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's on the tip of my brain. What's her
I
name?
was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
going to say, tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
will type it.
Yeah. Ron Lippett's there. He knows. Who was Ron? Who was Gillian Anderson in The Crown? What was her name? She ran the UK.
Margaret Maybell.
Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah,
Thatcher.
Margaret
Yes, she was.
Thatcher.
Thank you.
Phew.
We're all living in a. Thank you.
Really
Ron
bad.
Lippett comes in with Margaret Thatcher 2 seconds after the rest of us finally figured it out after embarrassing ourselves. Anyway, so I mean, the movie's a pretty straightforward movie, and I'm not going to ruin anything because it's real. I mean, it's like it happened. It's like at the end, the iceberg hits the ship and everyone dies. But it's kind of like that. But no, I guess everyone didn't die. Anyway, nobody dies in this. And so Prince Andrew was and still is considered allegedly a
Pedophile?
yeah, I guess, I mean, like,
pervert.
yeah, he hung with. So here's the thing: his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein is eventually what brought him down. So he's good friends with Jeffrey Epstein. If you're watching the reveals, which seem to go nowhere, of the logs, PA, his name was in it in the logs to that island more times than anyone else. And so, they were trying to get him on Newsnight in the BBC. Anyway, they were just trying to get an interview with him. And then Epstein killed himself. I'm sorry. Epstein allegedly killed himself. I'm sorry. Epstein was murdered. And then this came out, and so that happened. And so now they kind of used it to kind of force the issue of a conversation. He has to confront, why is he friends with this person? Why is he continuously, had things with her? There's a photo of them together. It was a whole kind of scandal. And there was a 17-year-old girl that had accused him of being, having sex with her like multiple times, that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. I don't know how to say her name, but Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend had sex trafficked her, and so they had. She said that Prince Andrew had sex with her like 3 times, and there's photos of them kind of like all this, and he's all like, "I've never seen that woman before. I was eating pizza," and or something like that, and so he gives this whole speech. It's one of those things where you think you're smarter than everyone else, and you can't be touched, so you just walk right into the lion's den, right? And so he gives this hour-long speech, turns into it just completely backfires.
Yeah.
It just, the entire public just turned on him, and the Queen ends up stripping him of everything. That's just the end. Everything else is that's just what happened because of all the things. So the story is the story of the British journalist Emily Matlis, and her pursuit to get him on this show, and then Gillian Anderson plays the journalist who actually did the interview. And it was an interesting thing. They were showing how they each prepped for the interview, and it was pretty intense. But I recommend it if you're into that. And this one has an extra bonus, even if you're like not into Charles and Diane or whatever. This This one has the added benefit of being able to watch a realistic interpretation of a pedophile and sex offender being taken down. So it has that extra bonus to it. So it's on Netflix. Very well acted. Like the acting in this and everything about this movie is just really, really great. So, from all aspects, I do recommend it. I recommend Ron Lippett watch it and everyone watch it. Ron's on it. Ron's on Instagram commenting along. So, so definitely check that out. It's called Scoop. So,
All right, I'm going to watch it.
Cool.
Not to be confused with the Woody Allen one.
Well, it's funny. I accidentally wrote down Snoop when I was writing it. I thought I couldn't remember the name of it. I wrote, and so I'm like, and there is a Snoop documentary. So I was like, it took me forever to figure out. Anyway, but definitely check out that. Check out 24 Hot Rods to Hell. Anyone But You. It's such a great amount of suggestions today, folks. Heather, tell people again, remind everyone what you're up to when you're not filing taxes.
Oh, yes. So I'm a podcaster too, and also a business advisor. I love to work with creatives, but my new adventures are going to be the Savvy Frugal Vegan. So you'll be able to find me very soon doing that.
Amazing. John, remind everyone where they can basement surge with you.
Sure. You can find the Basement Surge over on YouTube or basementsurge.com. I also run a podcast called Surgecast, where I basically talk about what was on Basement Surge and more. I add to it. So go check everything I do all out on surgemediany.com.
Amazing. Marcy?
You can find me on Crossing Streams on Wednesday nights with Jeff, and I don't know where everyone else is.
I know, we're holding down the fort right now. Yeah.
And our guest.
Awesome. And you can find me on Crossing the Streams. I got Kenny Banya on my show this week. That was fun. I got to work with him. That's Steve Heitner. Gold, Jerry, gold. It was good.
That's awesome.
It was fun. So yeah, check that out. Classic Conversations. Check out everyone else's podcast. Exciting. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thank all of you. I'm going to now play the music and sign us off. This has been another episode of Classic. I have to redo the ending. Classic Conversations. Blah blah blah. Thank you very much. Follow us on the socials, and we're